Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the now Conversations with Coaches podcast. I'm your usual host, Kevin, and I have been having way too good of a time and had way too many thoughts and musings with Milly Christmann here in the last. I meant to hit record like 20 minutes ago. We just got going, so if it sounds like we're in the middle of a conversation, it's because we are. But welcome to the middle of this conversation. Milly, if you don't remember, was on an episode a little over a year ago at this point. As a coach, Milly exists to help people make the changes they want to see in themselves so that they can ultimately pivot their lives with confidence, power, and poise, which are, I just love the way that rolls off the tongue, rolls off my heart, quite frankly. Her practice focuses on identifying strengths and leveraging them to result in desired change. It's positivity-based and very grounded in today's reality, and that is exactly what makes it achievable. Milly, I'm obviously extremely pleased to have you back on the podcast, just to have you back in a Zoom room chatting with you. Thank you again for being here.
Kevin, it's been great to reconnect with you again. I can't believe it's been that long. And yeah, we did kind of go off on a few tangents. So I'm excited that we're actually recording something that somebody might care to listen to. Yay.
Yeah, and I got to say, this is my favorite problem that I have all the time with coaches, especially like yourself. You're too dang interesting to talk to, and fun and insightful and thought-provoking. And so I've gotten professionally good at watching the clock and just sometimes ignoring it because it's just too good to talk. So let's talk and start wherever you'd like, dive in wherever you'd like, but let's talk about the last 18 months or so of your full-time solopreneur coaching business. What's been going on? What's changed? What's evolved? What's emerged?
Lots. Learning, frustration, elation, learning, repeat, rinse, repeat. So
I like frustration, elation. That's great.
All the Asians, a lot of Asians in there, and libations too at the end of everything as well.
Now you're talking.
The thing that surprised me the most was that I thought I really had a very, very clear plan laid out of exactly what I was going to do, my offering, my everything. And when I got into it, I realized that I was evolving, and what I liked to do wasn't necessarily my primary offering. I made some assumptions that I think were not really correct about what the market truly needed out there. And I was sort of going off the premise that, hey, this is what I think the market needs, and I'm going to offer that. And honestly, what you really should do is figure out what it is that you like to do best and most, and understand that market and who's in that market. So go start from yourself first. And I wish I had done that, but I quickly learned, because I got clients, which was great, but the work I was doing was too transactional for my taste. I didn't like it. I started thinking about, gosh, I've got such a broad network of a little bit more junior human resources folks. Maybe I can start outsourcing some of the work and monetizing it just by virtue of markup and still be profitable. But I thought, okay, boy, that's, yes, it's a functionally sound business, but is it fun? Does it put wind in my sails? Yeah, probably not so much. And then I started doing less advisory work for smaller businesses and more coaching. Actually, not less. I just got more coaching clients. So my portfolio became a little bit of more of a balance between working with individuals one-on-one versus small business owners setting up and doing some foundational things. And I loved the coaching. That coaching is what really put the wind in my sails. Not that the other stuff isn't important, because it absolutely is. But remember, the goal here is to put yourself first. And there's no shame in that. Put yourself first. Be selfish. What do I like? What do I feel good at? What have others told me that I'm pretty good at doing for my career? Listen to yourself a little bit. Yeah. And I did just that. And I'm still getting referrals, so I haven't quite reached that referral plateau where then you struggle with how to find business. So I'm not quite there, but one of the learnings I saw as my coaching side expanded was, wow, there's a lot of different lanes in which you can coach. I mean, there are just so many different lanes that I definitely do not call myself a human resources coach. I call myself a business coach, because I've got clients who use me to help them grow their business. So it's really a revenue operations kind of a model. I've got clients who are in very large career transitions, starting executive level roles for the first time, and they want to be successful. So that's more about leadership, assessments that go into how do you really shift from middle management to executive level management. I've got those kind of people. I've got folks who want to do career pivots out of industry into something completely different. And then I've got folks who have not been in the market for a new role in quite a while and just don't know how to make a change that's going to make them happy, yet they want to take advantage of what they're understanding as this fabulous labor market, and everybody has the dream job, and I want to play there too, but oh gosh, I don't know how to do it. So big, huge learning was that there's 86,400 different ways you can coach, and sort of narrowing down where you think you can help people in the best way becomes the challenge for the coach, for me. So that's been a fabulous learning, and I've just been blessed with getting referrals. I used to be a university adjunct professor years ago, so I've got some former students from very long time ago who have floated my name around now that I'm doing this, and that's generated some great business. So I'm somewhat of a known commodity in that world, which is really, really helpful. And so now I'm thinking about, okay, how do you sort of keep yourself front and center? How do you keep yourself current? And as you and I were chatting before you hit the button, this idea around keynote speaking and doing talks, whether it's a TEDx or something in a local chapter of a group that makes sense for you, an industry group. Those are really good venues, and it's a good way to just continue to sort of stretch your mind and do something that you haven't really done before, or maybe you haven't done since you've been in your corporate role. A lot of us have transitioned from corporate roles, and so I'm going on and on and on, but I've had so many learnings in the last year and a half. And the other piece of it is, how much do you want to work? What do you want your life to look like? When you set up a calendar, like Kevin, tactical things, there are certain days or parts of days that I just regularly block out, either because I want those for my own personal use, or it's a season of the year where, pheasant hunting is starting and I've got to block these out, or whatever, but whatever your personal priority is, it's so wonderful that as a solopreneur, you can do those things mindfully. They're certainly not public, but you have control. And the idea that you are in control, you're the captain of your own ship, which was a title of a book I read years ago that I just absolutely loved. And the idea of being the captain of your own ship is so powerful that honestly, it's worth everything to continue to hold that, and to hold that power by continually learning, continually evolving, and all those things. So, those are some of the sort of psychological roller coasters I've been riding around on.
Scary and fun. Roller coasters are scary and fun.
Yes, yes. Deflation, elation. I know you like those Asian words.
I do, especially that libation one.
The libation. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that later this evening. I just love the way you sort of spoke, the way you did directly speak about how powerful that constant learning. I think of that as curiosity, because curiosity is such a core value for a coach and coaching. It's just this, you understand there's always more, and you want some of it, maybe all of it, but you're just curious. It's not necessarily a hunger, although sometimes it does manifest as like a real hunger, like I need to find out about this, or I'm just going to start grumbling. My tummy, my core is going to start grumbling about it. And also that control, Or I don't know, I like to see that. I like curiosity and control, but maybe that autonomy is a little bit more accurate, because that ability to say, I'm gonna look at my calendar. I know what I love. I know what I'm good at. I know what I want my life to look like. I know what I want it to feel like. I know what I want my life to feel like to my family. I want to be available to them in ways that they feel way down deep in their heart. They know I'm here for them, even as I'm thriving in this business. And so I'm going to look at my calendar and I'm going to make some intentional decisions. I'm going to say, you know what, I love doing this. I'm going to make sure I only do it for this amount of time. Because if I let this get too big, it's going to start swallowing up other things that I know are important, that I maybe don't put as much wind in my sails, but they're necessary. Or I'm going to block this time off, because what really puts wind in my sails? Time with my family. And if I start neglecting that because I'm too excited about something in my coaching business, I'm going to get out of balance, and I know what's going to happen down the road. And there's really no other way to learn these things. There's not really any other way to learn them well, except by doing. And you've gone out in the last, 18 months, which is so strange to think about how long it's been and how short of a time that is. But you have learned so much in so relatively short of a time. And it's the right way to do it. You followed your curiosity. You found your wind, as I like to think of it sometimes. And it's beautiful to see. It's why you kept saying things that were like very like insightful and I wanted to speak on, but I was just like, no, she's got her win. Let her go. Let her talk about all these things she's learned. It's lovely. I love it.
Well, and what's on tap is for the next learning segment, personal learning segment, is how do you expand that? And you and I had a brief chat around scaling earlier, and how do you go from the one-on-one experience, which I absolutely love and adore, and it's so fulfilling. How do you go from one-on-one to 5-on-1 to 10-on-1 so that you can really help more people? You can start creating networks for other people with other people. That's power. I mean, that is true power and goodness all over the place. And as a solopreneur, how do you do that? You get that client number one. What do you say? Oh, you got to wait and be on hold until we get 4 more of you that are interested. And then we start a cohort. So, it's the mechanics around that, I think, is my my next phase of evolution and learning. So I don't have those answers. I'm just sharing, I guess, a challenge moment.
Yeah, a question. I love it. That'll have to be part 3 here in another 6 months or so. Maybe we'll have some fresh answers and some fresh questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Milly, I could do this all day, obviously, since we chatted for so long before I even hit record. Thank you for being on with me today. Thank you for chatting with me today. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the next 18 months.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having me back. It was great to see you again, chat with you again too.
My pleasure.